Good afternoon, folks. Welcome back. This is John Pettipas at 17 minutes past 3 o'clock in the afternoon on the afternoon of Sunday, which is the 16th day of August. I'm doing a rare Sunday video. I just got finished watching a show on PBS, Nova. Love that show, Nova. It's one of the best shows ever produced on television. They say, produced in Boston, shared with the world, and they're not kidding. Today it was on King Khufu of ancient Egypt. He was the builder of the giant pyramid at Giza in the land of Egypt. And it was just amazing what they did. They had the engineer and a scientist and archaeologist and a whole number of people, and the lady was narrating it. And she said they had the brains and brawn of human beings. I'm going to repeat that. Wonderful lady. She said they had the brains and the brawn of human beings. And they had rudimentary tools. The Nile would flood. They brought some limestone about 10 months. First of all, the Nile would flood, and their workers couldn't do the farm work. So for 4 months a year, the king of ancient Egypt had all this labor. They weren't slaves. They were labor. Very skilled tradesmen. What is it? Brains and brawn. B&B. Wasn't bed and breakfast. Was brains and brawn. And they'd taken every year to come back and work in it. It took 30 years to build this giant, huge pyramid. Then another, that was the limestone outside. The granite for inside came from further down, hundreds of miles down Nile, and they shipped it up. And when the flood would come, they could bring it across kind of a canal that flooded when the flood was on to get the rock from the Nile into Giza, where the giant pyramid's built. Anyway, brains and brawn. I always believe, say, never underestimate the ingenuity of human beings. Never. So that's just wonderful. You know, in life, you have to take a chance. You have to take a chance. Nothing of any value happens unless we take a chance. I'm going to repeat that. In life, you have to take a chance, and I sincerely believe, and I try to practice this myself, practice what I preach, nothing of any value happens unless we get out there and take a chance. Now, bear with me, I'm going to bring 3 different subjects together, try to wrap it up in a relatively short video by my standards. I had wonderful new Syrian family, somebody I've known for 12, 15, 16 years now, brought down this gentleman and actually came back with one of his sons. 12-year-old boy, going to be 13 shortly. Fine young man, actually. Incredible. He was a serious guy. Remind me, not to flatter myself, when I was 10, 11, 12, I was a serious little cat too. I was the only child. Now, this guy's not the only child, but anyway, he spent 6 years in Syria, his native land of birthplace. They had to leave because of the Civil War. He spent 3 years in Turkey, and from there, they came to Canada, and Nova Scotia. They love Nova Scotia. So that young man, at about going grade 6 or 7 now, at 12 or 13 years old, has in his 12, 13 years God's earth, lived in 3 places. He's lived in his original homeland, birth land of Syria, about 5.5, 6 years, 3 years in Turkey, and the last 3.5, 4 years in Antigonish County, Nova Scotia. So anyway, that's that tremendous experience. But then intelligence, his wife, his mother sent down a lovely treat, it's a lovely treat of supper. And boy, oh boy, let me tell you, the Galloping Gourmet, Chef Boyardee, Julia Charles, Madame Benoit has nothing on that gentleman's wife's cooking and Mohammed's mother's cooking. Beautiful. Madame Benoit has nothing on this. Speaking of Madame Benoit, reminds me, I'm just back from church this morning, finish up my wonderful Syrian family and father's friend. I asked him about the Quran, and he said there's English versions, and he said I'll bring you one. And he was here about a week ago, and he brought me English version of the Quran. It's going to take me some time to read it. And will I be leaving the Catholic Church and becoming a Muslim? Probably not. But I want to learn about the Quran. Okay, I want to learn about the Quran. If somebody gives me the Jewish Torah, I'll read that too, which of course Jewish Torah is the Old Testament, which we use in the Christian world. And all those religions believe in God. If you're Muslim, if you're Christian, Jewish, all those 3 religions believe in Jesus. Okay, so I'm going to go back to that after. Anyway, speaking of Benoit's, I don't know if there's a finer family. I'm recording from Trackety, Antigonish County. Trackety was founded by Pierre Benoit. Pierre Benoit, 1772. 248 years ago. In 2 more years, and the calendar rolls around 2022, it'll be the 250th anniversary of Pierre Benoit, finding Trackety. And first European settler in Trackety, permanent settler. Anyway, followed up about 6 months later with about 2 Frigere brothers marriage. It was a finer family, the Benoits. I'd like to meet them. I haven't met them yet. Anyway, they have gall and nerve. One of the sons of Pierre Benoit, we're talking about church in Trackety. First church in Trackety was over a place called Barrios Beach, East Trackety. And then they outgrew that church. They came over to Church Point here in Trackety, and they had basically a log cabin. It serves the purpose well, a glorified log cabin, and that was their chapel, their church. Outgrew that one. And they built their present church, you see, in Trackety, built in the 1870s. So that church is almost 150 years old. It's the third church in Trackety. And a big August gale came, and they had all framed up, and it blew it down. And my good Benoit friend Ed said they didn't have to blink the damn thing and framed right. Anyway, they got all the pieces put back together, all separated, picked up as pegs in those days, and they got all put back together, and the church is still standing in fine form. So that's another example of resourcefulness of human beings. If you're ancient Egypt, if you're that wonderful Syrian family, the Libyan lady introduced me to the wonderful Syrian family, or the French in this local area, or they can be Scotch or Irish or whatever, English, Lebanese, you name it, okay? Micmac, the people are very resourceful. Now, speaking of resourceful, taking a chance, I watched the CBS Morning News this morning, and the interviewer, they had Jared Kushner on, who was President Trump's son-in-law. He worked very hard on it. President Trump scores diplomatic deal with Middle East allies. UAE, the United Arab Emirates, which Dubai is part of, has signed a peace treaty with the state of Israel. So that's a big thing. It's the first time in 26 years there's been a peace treaty signed. The first one goes to Anwar Sadat and Menachem Begin back in the late 70s. It would have been King Hussein of Jordan in probably, 1990s, 26 years ago. And the newest one, it's been 26 years, a quarter of a century plus a year since a peace treaty's been signed. They're going to have an embassy. Israel will have an embassy in the capital, United Emirates. United Emirates will have an embassy in Israel, and there'll be flights back and forth and so on. So this is big news. That came out on Thursday night, and this here's from Friday's paper. Now this morning, Jared Kushner's on CBS Morning News, political show. And the interviewer wants to talk about some clashes in the occupied territories. And she wants to talk about everything else but does any of these interviewers have any brains in how much work would have went back and forth on this here to get to this here point, okay? It's so galling. The president is doing a very good job in difficult circumstances. He's in the Mideast. He's made, to my knowledge, the biggest deal that's happened there in a quarter century. And the interviewer wants to talk about a little skirmish happened overnight. It doesn't make sense. Like, say, coronavirus are down now. Coronavirus it's peaked, and hopefully the trend continues. The infestation rate, the infection rate's going down, and the deaths are starting to decrease. So fake news media will come out with tough times for morticians, undertakers. Debts are down. I mean, mother of God, give us a break. Anyway, in this world, when you want to get something done, you got to take a chance. President Trump is not for taking a chance. As a real estate developer, some of his deals have worked out well. Some of them occasionally didn't work out very well at all. Others have worked out spectacular. So this is a man not afraid to take a chance. And all of us, I'm going to wrap this all up together. they tied us all in together before I go on too long. I have a tendency to go on beyond what I should. And so King Khufu of ancient Egypt had to have gall and nerve to take a chance to build this beautiful giant pyramid at Giza in ancient Egypt. The nation now is known as Egypt, nation of Egypt. We, all of us, have any of us that want to get something done, we have to take a chance in life or nothing will get done. As simple as that. Doesn't matter who it is. We all got to take a chance in life to get something done. So with that, this is John Pettipas. I want to just remind you of that, and I try to practice that in my own life, and I thank all of you risk takers out there to go ahead and aren't afraid to have a little bit of gall and nerve to do something. Nothing's ever gone well in the world without somebody with gall and nerve and not being afraid to have somebody laugh at them or something like that there. Late great Albert Witness and John. I have never be, I'm 17 years old, said, never be afraid to have people laugh at you. He said, I have people laugh at me. He was the mayor of Vatican Air. She had a construction business. He has real estate. He built the Witten Trailer Court Empire up, business up, a beautiful trailer court, and so on. Very, very forward-looking man. So with that, never be afraid to take a chance. This is John Pettipas. I want to thank all you folks to tune in on a Sunday. This video will start airing Sunday night. Thank you very much. Every subscriber, again, we picked up more new subscribers this week. Every existing subscriber, new subscriber, let me tell you, you're greatly appreciated. Spread the word over that internet, that computer machine there, iPhone, telephone, on the golf course, practicing for hockey this winter, working in the fields, whatever. Spread the word on my YouTube channel. It's greatly appreciated. And the next time, this is John Pettipas on the Sunday afternoon at now almost 3:28 p.m. Wishing you all the best and God bless. Thank you very much for tuning in. Bye for now.